Hey, this is a quick CAGED system primer. And it's a CAGED root system. And so it's based off of CAGED. So these are shapes. And so you play chords with these shapes that you associate with first position cowboy chords. So this is the C shape. And that can be moved. So it's movable when you bar it. And then this is the A shape. And you can move, like say you can move it when you bar it. So this is C major at the third position using the A shape. And then there's the G. And you can play the C using the G shape, C major, the fifth position using the G shape. And then we have the E shape. And so at the 8th fret, we have C major using the E shape. And then we have D. And so then at the 10th position, we have C major using the D shape. And so let's take a look at what those roots are. So notice that we're in the 5th string has the root here. And here at the 2nd. In the A shape, we have the root here. And here on the 3rd string. With the G shape, we have the root here on the 6th. And that 3 again. And there at the 1. With the E shape, we have it here. With the 4th string. And with the D shape, we have it here. So it's... Okay, so there's all your roots you can reference quickly. It just starts over. Okay, so let's focus on the first position. So there's C major. So what is this made of? We got 1, 3, 5, and 1. So let's move it up. So if we wanted to make it a C major 7, we just drop this octave to the major 7. So, and we can do it this way too if we want to start with the 7. This is called the third inversion. Or, so that's the first inversion because the root is the E, which is the third. So those are 3 chords we can play in the C shape of C major 7. There's also an arpeggio associated with this position, and it starts, you know, we can play a C major 7 chord like this: 1, major 3rd, major 5th, major 7, or 1, major 3rd, major perfect 5th, major 7. But let's play them every chord tone in the first position. So E is what? It's the major 3rd of C. So we'll start with 3, 5, 7, 1. So there is your arpeggio in the first position, all the chord tones in the key of C major 7. Let's see what else. So we have the diatonic from C to C. And then I won't show the others for now. So we'll just stick with major. And then triads. So the triad is what makes your chord. 1, 3, 5. That's C major. So if I go 1 minor 3rd, that's a minor. And I already showed you arpeggios. So let's talk about pivot arpeggios. Pivot arpeggios are arpeggios on just an adjacent string like this. Here's 1, C. Here's major 7, B, perfect 5th, G, and major 3rd, E. So you can play it like... So to play a C minor 7, we're going to flatten the 3rd. So here's... So minor 3rd and minor 7. So it sounds like... Then C dominant 7 is just like the major, except we flatten the 7. So, and then the half diminished, we diminish the 5th. So 1, we flatten the 3rd and the 7th. So one nice drill is to play these in parallel fashion. Play C major 7, C minor 7, C dominant 7, and C half diminished. So it's And so those, and you can move those just not on those two strings. So here we have C here. And so that's a good thing. Do that as a drill. Identify your C's in all these places in the cage. So this one's not good to do it here because you're kind of at the highest place. And so you get the idea. Anyway, so that's pivot. And then also you can harmonize pivot arpeggios. So, do you know how to harmonize the C scale, right? So it's C, D minor, E minor, F major, G7, A minor, B diminished, and back to C again. But if you go with sevenths, it's we'll start with the root on the 5. We have C major 7. And so this is associated with, that's the 1, so that's associated with the Ionian scale, and you can play that starting at the 5th, right? And so then the 2nd degree is Dorian, and that's a minor chord, so you play D minor 7, and then E, which is E Phrygian, and then F major 7, I won't play, then G7, then A minor 7, then B half diminished, then back to C major. So that's harmonizing the C scale, right? So the 1st and the 4th degrees are major, the 5th is dominant, the 2nd, 3rd, and 6th are minor, and the 7th is in the 7th in the chord tones is half diminished. Okay, and so then with pivot arpeggios, we're going to play C major 7. So we'll play it here. Then D minor 7. E. That's F major 7, representing Lydian. And then G dominant 7. A minor 7. The 6th degree. And this is B half diminished. So I just played each one of the modes in a pivot arpeggio in the key of C. And so I just did it all on those two strings, but like I said, you can start identifying those on different string sets and gives you a lot of rich vocabulary. Okay, so let's switch to A minor, which is in the same key as C major. There's no sharps, no flats. So here's, so it's the 6th degree. But what's interesting about it is, the pentatonic system, when we think of it, the most common one is this shape, the minor pentatonic. That's shape number 1, it's usually called. And notice that it sits over the Aeolian diatonic scale. Okay? And so that's shape 1. Here's shape 2. And notice that it sits on top of the so this is sits on top of the Ionian diatonic scale, and then the pentatonic, right? And then this 3rd step, the third pentatonic shape goes like this, and it sits on top of Dorian. And then the 4th pentatonic shape goes like this, and it sits on top of Phrygian. And then this one is sits on top of mixolydian. And each one of these positions, by the way, has an arpeggio that goes with it, one of those full vertical arpeggios. But you should practice arpeggios moving up and down, just playing to like 2 strings. You don't want to get caught into this vertical trap. The same thing with scales and pentatonics. Try playing your scales on 1 string, you know, just like... Right? And so get used to seeing it this way. It breaks you out of just playing up and down, and gets you to flow in between. Let's see. So we covered pivot arpeggios, parallel, first position, diatonic, pentatonic. Oh, let's add the blues note. So let's talk about blues real quick. We're at 11 minutes. We got time. So what's blues? It's not in any real key, really. It's playing a 1-4-5 chord progression using dominant 7 chords. So A blues is A dominant 7, D dominant 7 is the 4 chord, E dominant 7 is the 5 chord. Anyway, the most common is 12-bar blues. I'm not going to get into all that, just talking about the tones that go on top of it. So what can you play over a blues progression? A dominant 7 with A dominant 7. There is such a thing as minor blues. So that's different. Well, I'm not going to talk about that. Let's just talk about the regular blues. A7, D7, E7. Well, the most common thing is you play A minor pentatonic. And you can add the blues note, which from the perspective of the A is a diminished fifth. So it's... You can play C major pentatonic, which is in the same key. You're just starting in a different place. You're starting in C. But you're playing the same notes, just starting in a different place. Okay? And so so that's shape 1. Shape 2, like we said, you add the blues note, is the E sits over the Ionian. And it goes... And then the blues note is here. And here. And here. Okay, so that's the third pentatonic shape with the blues note. Or the second, I mean. The third pentatonic shape, so one over Dorian, remember? And it goes like this. And the blues note is here. There. Okay, so that's playing it. And then the fourth position goes like this. Here. 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 So we do them all? We've got one more. So it's the fifth position goes like this. And it's here. So it goes here. So it starts over. Now there's other ways to play pentatonics. You should be able to play a pentatonic from any note that you're starting with. So if I'm starting here, here's an A here. So it's a minor pentatonic, so you're going to go to a minor third. And if I'm going to play major, you can start with 1 here. It's the same as that. And you can also you can play a minor pentatonic, the Eric Clapton style. So we play. So that's A minor pentatonic. You start here, and then you can slide from the 4 to the 5th in one thing, like he does. So he does that. You can do stuff like all kinds of stuff you can do. So the key to improv is to play chord tones. So let's play we're in A minor 7. And so we're going to want to play, here's an A minor 7 arpeggio or chord tone. Okay. So that's adding a pentatonic to it. So there I just added the blues note. And then I can play diatonic. So there I just played chord tones. Pentatonic with a blues note. With diatonic. And then we can get into other things about playing parallel modes and all of that. So that's just the caged system mapping in. Oh, did I map in chords? Yeah, I think I did already. Mapping in triads, arpeggios, chords, diatonic scales, pentatonic scales, blues scales, pivot arpeggios. Okay, that's 16 minutes, so that's long enough. So anyway, hope that entices you to take free Skype lessons with me. See you next time.